I want to start on page 9, and we're going to be talking about the central limit theorem. But I want to do something that I'm sure it's going to crash and burn once I do it. But hey, we'll try it anyhow, just because. What would Stirrups class be like if I didn't fail at least 25,000 times in a class period? All right, so let's say I am going to. Let's see. Oh, that's right. We're gonna go. L equals square bracket, and then I'm plugging in.
That makes sense. I might as well, because I've never cut, because I've never had it set. Yeah. I'm trying to cut this out. I just like that. So I'm like, do you know how many?
Let's see.
I've never been able to cut. Yeah. Just this is not the one that I'm trying to cut. So
How much did I get? You didn't respond to any of them?
Nope.
I also had a
I showed you when I was in the fourth grade.
Sure.
I don't go. How those problems might be anorexic. Oh my god! If you go over, I don't know.
All right.
I put 5 times that.
All right. So.
But then I that's nice. That's nice.
If I could spell things, histogram.
I ordered 12 wings, right? They gave me 25.
All right. All right.
That sounds really good.
So am I.
No, that sounded great.
Need to add a little bit more data to this.
You and Ryan? I know.
Hey. What did I say? Why are you like my stuff?
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
I didn't look at it, but I can tell. I know, I just love these cars like Coach Evans first thing.
I don't think that's a
What is it? I was like 189. Try to get down to like 170.
You were at 189.
Yeah, the thing is,
That's wild.
I was at 120.
All right. So we've gone back in time a smidge. What can you tell me about this distribution? Is it a normal distribution or not? Is it? No. Would you say it'd be skew left or skew right? Skew left. Does everyone feel comfortable with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so everyone agrees that's skew left. Agree?
Yes.
Okay, so we plugged in our data. We've looked at it. We could determine just visually that it's skew left. So then let's do this. Let's do a I have to remember where all these things are because it's been like so last semester. I want to find the mean of L. And I want to find the standard deviation of L. Standard deviation of L. Okay, so we all agree it's skew left. So if we were to make a normal distribution based off this, now we know this by looking at the data, just by visual representation, we are fine saying it's skew left. Okay? So we've already diagnosed that it's skew left. So what I want to do now is I want to do normal distribution. I want to do normal distribution based on this. And it's not going to look entirely like it, but we're going to say 17.65 is the mean, and 9.99 is the standard deviation. Okay. So if I do this, that's basically so it had to inflate it because we're not able to show the skewedness right now. Now we could look at a normal curve that is skewed. Okay, if I just go, I could draw a skew left normal distribution, which would look something like that, right? Hello.
Hi.
We're on page 9. So that's what a normal distribution, if it was skew left, would look like. Agree? All right. Now, I'm curious if Desmos is going to let me do something here. So again, I'm going without a net, so it might crash and burn. But hey, again, how much fun would it be? So if I were to do a normal distribution that isn't this, I wonder if it'll allow me to do a normal distribution based on L. Ooh. Oh. That crashed and burned. Okay. So it's not going to let me do it that way. All right, so with the central limit theorem, whether you have skew left or skew right data, if you have your mean and your standard deviation, so our mean we're going to call as x bar, our standard deviation would be that sideways 6. Then we talked about something called the standard error. Now, here is the big, scary no-no. The standard error is this. So we talked about yesterday, if you find the standard error, the larger n becomes, the tighter it regresses to the mean. The harder it is to get to unless you aren't talking about a bound region between your means. Okay, so if I had a skew left or right normal distribution, okay, if it was skew right or left, if I found the standard error makes it look normal. Okay, now I couldn't really show it on Desmos, but what would happen is, let's say I said, hey, let's say we had, 300 pieces of data, which would be the standard deviation over the square root of 300 to get our standard error. What's going to happen is our graph is going to look like a normal curve. Okay? Here's the problem, friends. Did it start skew left or skew right? And the representation I had on the original, it was skew left. Agree? So you have to know, is there a skewness factor to this originally? If you can answer yes or no to that, then even if you find the standard error, and the standard error replaces the standard deviation, the standard error plugged in for the standard deviation makes your curve look normal. And this is a really bad thing. So be careful. Applying normal distribution techniques to a distribution that is not normally distributed is a huge red flag. Okay? So things I want you to kind of look out for. If you were ever reading something that said data is skew right or left, but our standard error shows a normal distribution, stop reading. It's junk. Okay? Again, it's a technique that is often used to sway the opinion of the reader to buy into what they're trying to say to you. Okay? So questions that could come up, as you are in the business world. If someone was talking about that, hey, we collected a whole bunch of data, we showed it that skew left or right, boom, as soon as you hear skew left or right, you got to raise your red flag. You're like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden they're like, but if we do the standard error based on a random sample of this many people, what's up, brother? We're on page 9. If you did a standard error based on a random selection, that is very misleading, and it is not to be trusted, okay? So just be very cautious. Now, there's ways that you can get around stuff. I mean, it's one thing if your data is skew right or left. I mean, that's what your data says, okay? And it's not because you did something wrong if it is skew left or right. But if somebody uses the standard error to make your normal distribution appear to be normal, throw it out the window. It's bad news. And again, I'm trying to get you guys to realize that statistics is all about manipulating things. Okay? The more that you understand statistics, the more you can realize that you won't be manipulated. It's a scary thing, and I hate to say that people do it, but unfortunately, it happens too often, and it concerns me greatly. But I'm also the wrong person to have in meetings because I can debunk anything that's being presented is when these things are said. And then you can debunk things. People fall for stuff all the time. Okay? You guys ever heard of a pyramid scheme or a multi-level sales thing? Have you ever heard of these things?
Ponzi.
Yeah, sometimes they're Ponzi schemes. So a pyramid scheme is basically this. You get a friend to invest a certain amount of money. That friend is to get 3 friends to invest money. Those 3 people get, I'm just using 3 because I can't draw, huge things. So this is taking place. And then as it keeps going down, each one of these has branches of 3 and branches 3 and branches 3. What basically happens is the people who are at the top, or even here, depending on how big the pyramid gets, are the ones that are making the money. Okay? There was, my dad used to get caught in these all the time. My dad got caught up in this multi-level sales thing. It was a thing for buying powdered milk. And all he had to do is, so he would buy a collection of powdered milk, and then he could distribute it to the people below him, and then they would sell it, and he'd get a kickback from that. But then his kickback went to the kickback above the person above him, and above him, and above him. So the people at the top. So this is how you know that you are in a pyramid scheme. If they tell you this is not a pyramid scheme, that means it's a pyramid. Pyramid schemes are illegal, but there's a lot of companies out there that run on a pyramid scheme, and they've been around for a long time. Like my company. Like, have you ever heard of the cleaning products called Amway? Amway is a big pyramid scheme. Okay? It's been around for years. People are like, I make so much money off of Amway. I had a friend of mine, have you ever heard of hair care products called Arbonne? Arbonne is one that came out about 20 years ago, and there was one of the guys when I was teaching at Chaparral, his wife got involved in Arbonne, and because she had a certain amount of product that she was able to sell, meaning she had to buy it first and then turn around and sell it, but being she had a certain amount of product, they gave her a lease on a Mercedes.
Cool.
Okay, which sounds pretty great. Now, I will tell you this, a lease on the Mercedes that they got was, they could have went down to the Mercedes dealership, put $1,500 down, paid $400 a month on a lease on this Mercedes, written it off on their taxes at the time, because at the time you could lease cars and write it off against your taxes. but they put themselves $80,000 in debt so his wife could get the Mercedes. And I'm looking at him, I'm going, you dropped $80,000. You dropped $80,000 so your wife could be in a leased Mercedes. You're like, oh yeah, it's great. They gave it right to her. I was like, okay, 400 goes into 80,000 a lot. You could go rent a Mercedes for 20 years and still be on top. It's like, oh, well, all we have to do is sell that $80,000 worth of product. They didn't have a garage. Their garage was full of boxes of Arbonne product that they were trying to hope to sell to other people. And then the people that were working underneath them were hoping to sell it to other people. And it was just this huge pyramid. And the people at the top of Arbonne are sitting there going, sweet, we're billionaires. Okay, you remember years ago when Bitcoin went through the roof and everyone thought, dude, I got to get into this, and then it crashed?
Yeah.
Bitcoin was a very similar type of multi-level sales pyramid scheme. Okay, people are like, oh, you should invest in Bitcoin.
Didn't one country make that a national currency?
Huh?
Didn't some country make that their national currency?
Yeah, you never know.
What? Look it up, Brian.
But the unfortunate thing is people fall for schemes all the time. Get-rich-quick schemes are just that. They're a scheme. A scheme has first two letters as scam. Okay? Just be cautious when you're coming across these kind of things. Okay? There's all kinds of things that influence. They sound good. Anytime they have a multi-level sales or a pyramid thing that they're going to launch, they usually have it at some really nice country club, or they have it at some nice convention center, and they have thousands upon thousands of people up there, and they usually get some guy that comes up that says, I was a high corporate lawyer, and I was making $2.7 million a month, and I left it all behind, and now I'm making $5 million a month. Okay? And everyone's feeling good about it, going, oh, I could be that guy, I could be that guy, I could be that guy. It's like, no, that guy, because of you, is going to become richer and richer and richer, and you're going to go further and further and further into debt because of this pyramid scheme. They are things, they try and lift you up during these things, act like you're the best person in the world, everyone needs this product, and it's a pyramid scheme. And pyramid schemes, as ones like Amway has been around forever. It continues to be somewhat successful. Amway's basic notion was the stay-at-home mom could work just a little bit and bring in an income. Oh, we could do that. And fortunately, how Amway has it done is people can indeed bring in a small income to contribute to their family's income. Okay? And that's just talking about, a single family member working and the other person's just doing something part-time. Pyramid schemes, they're garbage. They are really garbage. But a lot of times that pyramid scheme is based on, they took some data, they had something that was skew left, they found the standard error to allow the standard error to make the distribution appear to be normal. And that's the biggest red flag. You just walk away from it. Okay, I will assure you, some of you will have friends that will get involved, and they will try and get you involved, because the whole thing of how a pyramid scheme works is get your friends and family involved. And all you do by doing that is upset them. My cousin contacted me about 20 years ago, and he had this vitamin supplement thing. So, oh yeah, it shows you take these vitamins and you're going to lose weight and you're going to build muscle and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm not interested. No, but you don't understand. No, I do understand. The rule of thumb that I have gone through for my entire life is I never involve friends and family in any type of money thing. Happy to buy friends and family lunch. That's not me losing money. That's me just buying that person's time for a little bit and enjoying their time. Yeah.
So basically, like if it says, get this product for like $20.99, basically on.
Well, not all advertisements are going to be, but as far as investment capitals go, anything you see advertised on TV, stay away from. Like you probably have seen or heard gold commercials. Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay? I mean, I kid you not.
Yeah, I understand.
They're like, oh man, I can buy gold. Yeah, gold will maintain its integrity. Here's the problem with gold. Okay, the dollar has about a 9.8% increase as you go through life. Gold has about a 2.3% increase. The cost of gold did not stay up with the cost of inflation.
So basically you're just paying $9 to get $2.
Yeah. So, just my friends, as you progress through life and you start seeing things and you're influenced by things that you see on TV, and they have the rap artist or the singer or the actor or the actress that you're like, that's my favorite person. They are a spokesperson for this product, and they're like, oh, I'm going to jump in. You know, they always try and hit the old people. They'll take the old actors or actresses. You know, they'll take Meryl Streep, they'll take Robert De Niro, they'll take those people because they're targeting the old population. It's like, I didn't think I ever needed to have this product, but now that I do, I'm comfortably retired. And it's like, okay, Robert De Niro, you're a multi-billionaire, okay, because of the acting. You didn't have a better retirement because you joined this product. This product gave you $3-4 million to do a commercial, and yeah, you increased your wealth because you did a 30-second blurb on the commercial that they'll run over and over and over again. Right now during the day, probably between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m., they will run these types of commercials over and over and over again because that's their target audience. That's the old people sitting at home going, oh, I love Robert De Niro. I'm retired. I could be like him. No, you can't. They're already rich. Slow and steady wins the race as far as any types of investment. So my point on this whole lecture is, one, look at what the original data would have looked like. If it's skewed right or left, and then if you look on page 10, they have normal distribution, they have uniform, which looks like a rectangle, exponential, which is a curve, they have parabolic, and they have all these other things that the shapes could be. As you go and change your sample size, so you're changing your standard error, your normal curve will stay as a normal curve. But if you start looking on page 10, if you look at a rectangular or uniform data, as your sample increases, it starts looking like a normal distribution. As exponential, your sample size increases, so your standard error changes. It looks more and more normal. As you look at a parabola, an open up parabola, as far as data goes, as your sample size, gets to 30 or more, it starts looking like a normal distribution. So, I mean, wouldn't you feel funny if your data made this shape, and then you use the standard error, and you got this shape? I mean, you don't have to know math to realize that these shapes are very, very different shapes. But unfortunately, this is what is done. Hey, look at our normal curve. Well, you read down in the disclaimer about stuff, it's like they're using the standard error. Run away. Okay, if you know you have normal distribution originally, and then they use standard error to give you another normal distribution, that's totally fine. This kind of stuff is garbage. Run away. Run away. Okay? And I'm just trying to... So my motivation on anything that I teach is to make you all better choice makers in society. The better choice maker you are in society means the better you invest for yourselves. The better you invest for yourselves means you make more money, which means I make more money. So it's all about me, is why I'm teaching.
Obviously.
So, all right, my friends, I would like to... let's see, that's 5-4. Did 5-3. Yeah, we did that. All right, so we'll do page 77, 78 for this evening. That's all